And we are streaming, I'm thinking right now we're probably live on YouTube. I'm going to go check that. We're green on my software. We're green right now, we're YouTube. Probably live on YouTube. I'm going to go check that. That's a good, actually, that's a good reverb. On my software, because that means we're going live on Facebook too. So now I'm minimizing that. There it goes. Look at that, man. Dude,
there we go.
That's the shit right there, brother.
Because I gotta get some of this stream stuff, man. That's being able to do it multi is pretty key.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, we spread awareness and make sure that Ron Placone is a household name before we're done.
Appreciate it.
No doubt, man. All right, guys. Look, it sounds like we're good, but I want to do a sound check. I have my friend here today. I haven't introduced him yet, so I'm not going to tell you his name. But I want to make sure that you can hear both of us. What's up, low-key, Brian Crosby? Can you hear me and can you hear my guest? Say hello,
howdy,
guys.
Howdy. Hello.
There it is. You know there's a sweet delay in this shit, but low-key says, we hear you. Did you hear my great guest? Oh, they already know you. That's what's up. I love it when they already know you, huh? They're like, oh, you know, that's Ron, man.
Hey, everybody.
I still got to give him the Steve Harvey introduction, the D.L. Hughley introduction. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen up. Welcome to the Tim Black Show, Tim Black at Night Show. I'm so glad to have you here today. Periscope, my people on Facebook, my people on YouTube, Wolfpack all the way around the house. I have a guy today that's going to lighten the mood a little bit. He's going to talk politics, but we're going to keep it funny because I think people need to decompress. This gentleman was introduced to me by Jimmy Dore. He's teamed up with Jimmy Dore. They do some great, funny, political, hard-hitting truth-telling. He's a comedian who's kicking ass. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend and now yours, Ron Placone. Give it up for Ron Placone.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Tim. Stoked to be here.
Man, thank you so much for coming on, guys. I want to be totally transparent. Last week, I was supposed to have Ron on. I went to D.C. I'm too old and out of shape, so I couldn't make it. But today, I went to D.C., and I made it, and I got Ron. So, hey.
You made it, buddy.
That's what I'm saying.
We're doing it.
Like they said on Saturday Night Live a long time ago, lowered expectations, Ron. Lowered expectations. What's going on, Ron? Ron, people don't know about you. They want to know. Like, Ron, tell us a little bit about you so people know why they should fucking love you, man.
Well, I work for the Jimmy Dore Show, where we do all of our Kremlin puppet propaganda, and yeah, you know, prior to landing here in LA, I was a road comic. I toured for about 5 years, lived in my car for a part of it. And then I got here to LA, and they say in LA you can do literally whatever you want. And maybe that's true, because I somehow managed to find a job for probably one of the only shows in existence that is to the left of even me. So it's very nice to write for a show where I can keep my political views completely intact and not really compromise at all. So that's pretty cool.
Wow, man, that's a beautiful thing, man. Look, man, that guy says he ain't.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
He ain't falling for no bananas in his tailpipe, man. I love that. Ron said, look, man, I could be on a show where I can go as far as I want, and I still won't be at Jimmy's edge.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice. I mean, yeah, I mean, we were pretty much aligned politically, and you know, like we have some minor disagreements here and there, but nothing, you know, just more like kind of structural strategy things. So, like, I can't even think of a for instance off the top of my head. So, yeah, it's pretty nice in that regard.
Well, look, man, we love what you do, man. We're all fans of your work. I'm pretty sure a majority of my audience are big fans of Jimmy Dore and yourself. And the miserable liberal is herself. She's amazing as well.
Yeah.
And we just love what you do, man. So Ron's like, Tim, what are we going to talk about, man? You already know what we're going to talk about. We got all this shit going on, Ron.
Yeah, you sent a nice list, man. I'm stoked.
I'm like, look, okay, so look, I told Ron just before the show, I said, look, I reached out to Cory Booker because I saw he introduced some legislation for weed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, hey, Cory, come on the show, man. Come to the show, come to the Tim Black Show and talk to my viewers, because we want to hear about how you're an advocate for cannabis now and now you're going to champion it. You didn't want us to import, drugs that were like mind altering or whatever from Canada. It was already approved by the FDA. But now you want to introduce, cannabis. Like, this is really cool, man. So, hey, man, I love you. I love your new take. I love your new stance. What do you think about his new introduction, his new legislation there, Ron?
I'm a little skeptical. Cory Booker is, Cory Booker, I mean, I'm all about the cause. I'm all about ending the drug war. I'm all about legalized pot completely. But Cory Booker is, he voted against that prescription drug bill because he's very much bought and sold by the health insurance industry. And the pharmaceutical industry is one that has been very prevalent in the drug war. I mean, part of the reason pot is where it is part because of a propaganda campaign that can be traced back to the pharmaceutical industry. So, I mean, I'd like to think hopefully this is an issue where me and Cory Booker do totally see eye to eye, but I have my hesitations, and I kind of think this might just be him kind of playing politics because he knows that at the moment this has no chance of going anywhere with the Republican stronghold. So, I mean, my first instinct is that this is just lip service on his end to try to appeal to progressives because he really hasn't, especially as of recent. And he's trying to cover up that, kind of put a Band-Aid on how he shit on Bernie's prescription drug bill, which the whole thing, we're worried about the safety of the drugs. I mean, that was a bunch of bullshit. I have friends in Canada. They tell me all the time, they're like, look, I don't know what the fuck's up with your country, but let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with our Tylenol. Okay, weirdos, we're fine. We're fine. So I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, and he's coming at a good place, and this is one of the things me and Cory Booker do not see eye to eye on everything. Maybe this is something we do see eye to eye on. But I have my hesitancies, Tim. I'm a little, sometimes I'm a little cynical, I guess.
What, you think a corporate shill, couldn't see the light?
Call me a radical, Tim. Call me a radical.
You and your purity test, Ron. You and your purity test.
That's right.
You want people to stick, to stand for issues that concern the people and not give a shit about their donors. Man, I tell you, man, that's the reason why, us, the millennials and the progressives, they can't mess with the Democratic Party, man, because we got these lofty ideals like you got to stand for something and have ethics and support the people and try to actually, vote and legislate in a way that's going to actually help the people.
We have a lot of these crazy purity ideas. Like, we expect a major political party to have a platform. We expect that. That's kind of crazy on our end. We also judge actions based on past actions and take that into account when we summarize an event. I know that's also pretty crazy. We also have this crazy notion that if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. Which is something the Democratic establishment does not share. But yeah, I know. I'm a pie in the sky guy. Man. I really am.
Your past affects your present. You make it sound like, past actions are a predictor of future actions, man. Come on, man, Ron.
Crazy thought. No, I'm not saying people can't evolve and change. I'm not implying that at all. Of course people can. But, I'm going to proceed with caution when it comes to someone like Cory Booker doing something that would benefit the drug war when he himself benefits from those that benefit from the drug war.
Hey, man, I hear it, man. Hey, look, just in, Hillary Clinton said that super predators aren't black kids anymore. Look at that, man. That's right on time, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is new. This is good stuff. Breaking news right here on the Tim Black Show. No, man, like Cory Booker, like, look, I'm kind of torn, Ron, because I feel this way. If they do the wrong thing, we hit them. And then when they try to do the right thing, we hit them. Then it's like, that's like an abusive parent. It's like, come on, man. I took the trash out, you whooping my ass. I take the trash out, you whoop my ass. I don't take the trash out, you whoop my ass. It looks like I'm just getting an ass whooping. So I get that, but I'm with you, Ron. I've been joking the whole time, being sarcastic, but I got to make sure people know. Look, I am very skeptical of Cory Booker. I want to make sure that Cory Booker means what he says. But when you don't own the Congress, you don't own the Senate, and then when you throw in, not only are we going to legalize weed, but we're going to free everybody who's in jail over weed. Like, I'm pretty sure there are guys in jail right now who heard this shit. They're like, come on, dog. Come on, man. We know you don't really mean that. Like, we know this ain't gonna pass under Trump. Come on. It wouldn't pass under Obama either, or they would have introduced it. Isn't that something? Isn't that something?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's like, and hey, man, we're saying, hey, maybe we're wrong here, but yeah, it looks like he's just kind of playing politics. But I really hope I'm wrong. I really hope that he genuinely stands behind this. Maybe he had a change of heart. He had the heart grew 3 sizes that night. He had his Grinch moment. But it's the same as the people that are, oh, John McCain had this diabolical plan all along. What a great. I don't think so. I think John McCain heard the public outcry and found out that irony does not cure cancer and decided to vote no at the last minute because of all the public outcry he got.
There are people actually saying it was a diabolical plan, Ron, for real.
Right. Yeah. It's and that's, come on.
Yeah,
he was the maverick all along, except for the past 16 years where he's totally not been a maverick at all. When it comes to the Iraq war, anything but a maverick, John McCain. Anything but a maverick. Did vote against the Telecommunications Act. I was always there. I'll give him that olive branch. Voted against the Telecommunications Act. I don't know why, but he did. So
they pissed him off, man.
That was cool. They must have done something.
Them damn telecommunications people.
For some reason he voted against it. It could have just been, I don't know.
Wow, I didn't even know that. Thank you for that. Look, Ron is well versed in this stuff, man. I gotta give it up to him. I had no idea, and that's something I would have never thought John McCain would do. But I tell you this, man. I don't give him any credit for what happened. I mean, yes, I thanked him. I was, amicable. It's yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Sure.
Because okay, so you had, you got diagnosed with brain cancer, man. It's a horrible situation. I never make fun of that. I know some people hit them hard on that. I don't make fun of people with illnesses. No one. You don't want to wish cancer on anybody. Come on, guys. That's And I understand. I understand. It's just not my nature. You could do it. I won't bash you for doing it, but I won't do it. That's my choice. But my thing is, I don't think he's now an angel because he went and voted against the most shittiest bill. The most, come on, this healthcare bill was horrible. Over 22 million people more would lose.
Yeah.
I don't even know the number anymore. It's every time I look, it goes up. More people would lose their health coverage, and this guy gets the best coverage in the world. I mean, come on, is that rocket science? Is that congratulating John McCain and thanking him for doing the thing that was obviously ethical? It's damn, man, that's like thanking a kid for not pushing the old woman down a flight of stairs.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, and he could have voted no out the gate for the discussions. He could have been as of recent events and what I went through in my life, I will not vote for anything that takes health insurance away from one person. I'll only vote for something that expands health insurance. I mean, he could have taken that stance. That would have been a true maverick moment. And, the best part about this healthcare bill, it's not a healthcare bill. It's a tax break. It's an anti-healthcare bill. What the right has demonstrated when you hear Paul Ryan talk, they just hate insurance. They hate the idea of healthcare. This is an we hate healthcare bill. That's what it should be called. Because he's look at this. Healthy people, or everybody's paying their fair share, and then the sick people use more of it. Yeah, that's healthcare. You just described healthcare. Well, that's wrong. Then you hate healthcare. You just don't. You hate the idea of healthcare. All the industrialized world has it. Most of them have healthier worlds than we do. They all have better health insurance, or have, according to the World Health Organization, we're 37th. They have better systems than we do, all of them. Even Trump said that when he was in Australia. So you just hate health. You just hate health insurance. You just hate that. That's why the Democrats can stand by a right-wing healthcare plan, because they're well, at least we don't just hate the idea of health insurance. We have that going for us. Have you seen the other guys? I mean, have you? Better ingredients, better pizza. Isn't that the other thing? Hey, pretty much the only thing separating us from Republicans at this point is that we're okay with gay people. So I know what we should do next. Let's take a slogan from a homophobic pizza mogul. Let's do that. That'll look great. The Papa John's guy, he's a homophobe. In case anyone forgot. Got to throw that in there for that joke to make sense.
No doubt. It makes a lot of sense. I'm looking, I've always wondered, Ron, I'm dude, why there's so many people who buy into the Republican talking points on healthcare, man? We can't get it done. There's no reason to try. And a lot of Democrats, too. I'm not leaving the Democrats out. I'm just saying, I've never maybe you can help me understand, Ron, because you live in Pasadena, right, California.
I do.
You don't have a lot of Republicans around you. It's a very blue place. But maybe you talk to people. I don't know, when you do your comedy, you're on the tour, you're doing stuff. Maybe you talk to some Republicans who've explained to you why they want people to die. Like, I don't. maybe they broke it down to you in a special way. Hey, Ron, what's your take on that? Why are people voting against their own? Like, I know people vote against their own self-interest all the time, but like health, that's like longevity of life. That's like your mama, your cousin, your baby, you. I don't like, there's a lot of shit you could get wrong, but to get healthcare wrong, like to get the idea that you should be protected, like you should have the ability to go to a doctor before you are bedridden and about to die, like that to me, like that makes sense, Ron. Maybe, man, fill me in, dude. What's your take on that? Why are so many of these people brain dead on this concept?
Well, first of all, I don't think as many people are anymore. I mean, I think for a long time you had that propaganda about socialized medicine and all these wait times and death panels and the big boogeyman. And, you know, that, of course, was propagated by the corporate media that wants to maintain the status quo. And the health insurance industry has a lot of lobbying dollars. And that's why we get that nonsense, because it is essentially nonsense. But now, I mean, you see footage from these town halls where people in red places, very red places, are cheering the idea of single-payer healthcare and universal healthcare because a certain guy named Bernie Sanders just broke it down for them in a very humanistic way. So yeah, 60% of adults favor single-payer now. Pretty much 80 to 90% of people that still identify as Democrat favor single-payer. Who doesn't favor it? The Democratic establishment. Why? Because of the donor dollars. And then Republicans don't favor it because, you know, as we just mentioned, they hate the idea of health insurance. They just hate that. I mean, they like it when they get it. The Marco Rubio, when his mom was getting, he was all about it. When it came to his mom, he was all about that. They love taking the health insurance that they get for their jobs. But as far as other people, that's not on us. That's not on us.
Screw the other people. Screw these people. They didn't plan well, Ron. They
did not plan well. They insisted on having their iPhones. They insisted on having that $300 iPhone. Yeah. We all know if you're in a bad car accident or you get cancer, at $300 you should be good. That's usually what it takes in our system. $300. You're fine.
Yeah,
so if you
those
just
iPhones and those Timberlands, that's what did it, man. It wasn't for those damn Timberlands and black women getting their hair done, they'd be able to afford thousands of dollars worth of health insurance. It'd be no problem. And people buy it. And it's, you know, it's not divided on race or divided on party. Like, there are people who actually buy it, but they blame the victim of a corrupt system that's feeding the mouths and the pockets and the wallets and the trust funds of rich bastards every day. They blame the poor people for, like, you know, like, what'd you do? You bought some steaks with that little money we gave you? What the hell is wrong with you? You should have invested that in the stock market and went and became rich like me. It's like, I think it's just so dishonest. It's like categorically dishonest around what they do, where they make poor people who want to feel for a moment like they feel good, like they feel all the time, like demonize them, say, like, you know, you're the problem. You're why you can't succeed, Ron Placone, because you bought that burrito from Chipotle, and you could have invested that in IBM. If you would have invested that in Microsoft or Apple back in the 90s. You'd be rich now. Like that was going to be a difference because you didn't spend that. You know, you spent that money.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things. If you find yourself like punching down or punching left, you're going to be wrong 100% of the time. You're just going to be wrong. And this goes out to, people in general. This goes out to power. I mean, I saw a meme that I always love to talk about where it was against the fight for 15. And it said, like, are you telling me that somebody flipping burgers should make the same money as an EMT? And it's like, first of all, there's nothing wrong with flipping burgers. You're at an honest job, making an honest living. There's nothing wrong with that at all in the world. But I agree, an EMT should make more than a fast food worker. I agree with that. So my point is, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying a fast food worker or any worker that works 40 hours a week at an honest job, no matter what it is, it does not matter, should make enough money to live. That's what I'm saying. An EMT should be paid way the fuck more. Are you kidding? Somebody that's in charge of your life makes $11 an hour. You don't think that's the problem? You don't think that's fucked up? You should be saying, why aren't EMTs being paid like $50 an hour? And, anyone doing anything should make enough money to live. An EMT should be making more money than I make. I'm a comedian nerd. Like they should be making more than me. And they don't actually, but they should. They should be making way more than I do. I mean, it's just so that I used to, when I was in high school, my job was I was a mortician's assistant. That was my gig. Yeah, it's it's a good icebreaker, man, and chicks dig it. I got to tell you. But I mean, one time I had to go on a removal. Yes, I did do removal. I even drove a hearse. They're fun to drive. But I went on a removal, and it was from a hospital, and there were some EMT people there on a shift, and they see me there, and they're like, man, I could never do what you do. And I just looked at them, and I'm like, you realize the pressure's off when they get to me, right? Like I just got to take them somewhere, and they're not, they can't complain about anything. I mean, they're dead when they get to me. You have the pressure. What I'm saying is I have a lot of respect for EMTs. But you get the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, get the hell out of give it up for Rob Placone, yo. I was thinking Dexter. As soon as you said that, I thought Dexter, man. Like, I hope Ron didn't help them get into Hearst before. Like, I don't know. But Dexter was one of my favorite shows, man. I just always
I never got bit by the bug. Now 6 Feet Under, I dug a lot. I really, no pun intended, but I liked 6 Feet Under.
I watched that too. No doubt.
It's a fun show. That was a good one.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Death in that last the season finale, the episode finale, the series finale was amazing, but
very powerful.
Everybody died. Everybody got old, like we are.
You just spoiled it for everybody. Now no one's gonna watch it.
I don't want to think about death, man. Come on, man. Clean this up. But yeah, man. But back to what you said about punching left, bro, because that has been something, and this is a curveball. But bro, like that's been something that's been going on across social media, and I don't know if you're on social media like that. I know I know you're on Twitter, but I don't know if you like dig into the stuff, man, because it gets so damn vitriol, like vitriol everywhere. What's that?
It does.
That's
it
vitriol.
Does. And,
wow, that's a lot of vitriol. Can I get I don't know. Can I take mine to go? It's horrible, bro. But there's been a lot of punching left lately, man. And dude, like, okay, so like you get it a lot. I look at the Jimmy Dore crew.
Our show gets it a lot.
You get it. You get it a lot, dude. And dude, you're calling out shit that the establishment people won't call out. The establishment won't call out, but also a lot of independent media who call themselves left or progressive or whatever won't call out. They should thank you, Ron. They should thank you and say, thank you for not doing the shit I'm afraid to do. Instead, what they do, Ron, is they bash you guys and say that you're the problem. Like you elected Trump because you told them, hey, Trump's a horrible candidate. Hillary's a horrible candidate to run against Trump, and she will lose. Because you guys said that, you're the problem. But in fact, you were the ones telling them, hey, detour, go the other way. They shooting down there. Somebody got a gun. I mean, that's basically what you were doing. So, like, Ron, my thing is, dude, how do you guys take it in such stride? Because I've been getting hit a lot. And I have been able to take it in stride. Like Jimmy's like, man, I'm going to Mexico. I'm going to go chill with the lady. I mean, Ron's like, I'm smoking a doobie. I don't know what you smoke. I'm just saying, like, how do you deal with that, like the pushback from the left? It's one thing when it's the right, but it's the left that's kicking you in the butt.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird because I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. And it's very bizarre to me where wanting single-payer healthcare, not wanting to enter World War III with Russia and or North Korea makes you some purist issue on the left. You're an undesirable on the quote-unquote left. That's very odd to me, and I've never seen that before in my lifetime. I really have not. I mean, I think the left eventually, not right away, but pretty much eventually was walking lock and step when it came to Iraq. There were some that kind of went along at the outset, and I'm hoping that we get there again. I'm hoping that we kind of come around to, this is wrong, whatever the issue may be, the military-industrial complex. But I deal with it on a number of levels. First of all, I got into something with Dave Weigel on Twitter recently. because he criticized my writing. And so the way I see it, he drew his sword first. He poked fun at the writing on the Jimmy Dore show. I'm one of the main writers on that show. And there's a lot of great writers besides me as well. But, I took that kind of personally. He's attacking my joke writing. So I gave him what I thought was friendly advice. He critiqued my writing, and
I'm sorry, Ron, you told him to go fuck himself? Was that the friendly advice?
I was very friendly,
Tim. You told him to be gentle when he was doing it?
No, what I told him was, he also pointed out the fact that Jimmy repeats himself sometimes. And so I told him information that I presumed he did not know. I said, look, Dave, when you have an original thought, sometimes you have to repeat it some so that it sticks. And I hope you get to experience that someday. And that started a thing between us that was quite frankly pretty fun. And he got pretty butthurt by it. He blocked me on Instagram. First of all, he found me on Instagram. And then he blocked me on Instagram before I had a chance to respond to him, because he posted something else and I responded to it. He said something about something else about the show. And I said, hey, thanks for the views, bro. And then I referenced something where he totally misrepresented a piece we did in his column. But, whatever. I guess that's his agenda. And he wasn't going to leave that agenda, even if it meant being dishonest. So, I called that out. And then he posted something else that I didn't get a chance to respond to because he deleted it right away. But fortunately, one of the fans took a screenshot of it, so I at least got to see it. And we had a lot of listener-made memes that were pretty funny. Like they had like this unflattering photo of him, and it was like fake news brought to you by the CIA. So that's what gets me through, knowing that we have a lot of creative supporters. And then also over at the Jimmy Dore Show, and I hope we can get to DC soon, Tim, and that you can be part of this. But we do our live shows, and so sometimes when you feel like maybe I'm going insane, you get to be in a room full of like-minded people that are stoked to see your show. So those get me through. Whenever we talk about more, live show plans, I am always in the camp of voting for more of them and as often as possible. I'm kind of like the I'm kind of like the millennial of the group. So I'm the kind of like, yeah, let's do it, guys. Like I'm like that guy. A, because it's a blast, but also B, because it does help me keep my sanity. So.
Well, look, man, I'm all for sanity, especially in the age of Scaramucci. Like,
yeah,
dude. Look, one thing. Look, I wanted Scaramucci to leave, but the way he left was so abrupt, man. I had so many Italian jokes I hadn't got a chance to use, and all the hacks on Washington Post and New York Times, I'm sure they had some they wanted to use as well. I'm sure mine would have went over a lot better. Man, what do you think about Scaramucci, man, getting kicked out so abruptly?
I am pretty bummed out because Scaramucci was just becoming my favorite comedian. I was really, what's really ironic is he spent most of his time promoting a bill that would have taken healthcare away from millions of people. If he was at a regular job, he wouldn't have stayed at it long enough to get his health insurance benefits. How's that? 10 days. I mean, what place? I haven't had a day job in over 10 years, but what place where it's like, you get your insurance kicks in at 10 days? That doesn't happen. He wasn't even there long enough. I am an Italian American myself. So I was very happy to see a fellow Italian American continuing the great legacy of Italian Americans in politics that we have with such brilliant minds such as Rick Santorum, Rudy Giuliani. We got a great list, and then Chris Christie, and then Scaramucci was ready to join that list of winners that we had, and sadly he didn't last. It's only the few survive, I guess. Only the few. But
hey, look, he was brash as hell, man. I think it was something about Trump. I think that, Trump didn't really want competition in the area of getting ink. And I think Scaramucci would have got a lot of ink, and I think he knew that. And also want to interject because a lot of people don't know this. I was reading where he actually kind of started early. Like, he wasn't supposed to start until August 15th, I think. That's what I read, and he started early. So technically, Ron, he got fired before he started. Which is kind of crazy.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of crazy. I remember Fridays. I know you remember Fridays where Craig got fired on his day off. Well, Scaramucci got fired before he started, which I think is even a more step ahead. That's what you call progress. But I did like what he said about Steve Bannon. I'm not going to lie. I thought that was funny as hell.
You know, I don't think Steve Bannon can actually do that. However, if Steve Bannon can suck himself off, that would explain why Steve Bannon looks like he hasn't left his house in 35 years. That would explain that, but I still don't think he can do that. I don't know. He just doesn't. He looks like a mix between Play-Doh and gin. Like, it looks like that's how he was made. So I don't think he has that kind of flexibility. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think Steve Bannon can do a sit-up. I don't even think he can buy a sit-up. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so.
Nah, he's not in that type of condition. He'd have to take out, he'd have to remove like 3 ribs and 4 pot roasts before he could do something like that. But yeah, but still, man, like, it was abrupt. So Spicer got kicked out, Priebus kicked out, and I'm seeing there's a connection between all of this, man. I don't know, man. I'm just sitting back watching the shit show and just, eating popcorn and drinking wine.
See, I actually thought the opposite, not the opposite, but I kind of took Scaramucci a little differently. I thought the reason he got in the gig in the first place is because imitation is the best form of flattery. And look, you want a guy that's a total knee-jerk reactionary that has no sense of consequence when he talks to reporters? That is Donald Trump. This guy is the perfect. Donald Trump was flattered by him. He's like, this guy is me. But then maybe he decided, this guy is too much me, and he's going to steal the spotlight. Or he saw the footage from that CNN interview with Chris Cuomo, and it's like, this guy's going to fuck something up. We got to get him out of here. This dude is too off the rails for me. We got to get him out of here. It's like, I applaud the fact, he has the same regard for his wife that I do, didn't show up for the birth. I applaud that. I would have played that the same way because I'm a gentleman, but we got to get him out of here. I think that might have been what went through Trump's head.
You killing me, Ron. You killing me. I think this Scaramucci, man, look, I don't think he's crying in his yogurt or crying in his creme brulee. He's chilling. He's a rich guy. And that's another thing, Ron, look, why are we hiring rich people to, do jobs and expecting them to just fall in line? Well, if you're rich as hell like Scaramucci, man, you're not used to being told what to do. There's no barometer. It's all about how much coke you have and how much dough you have. Like there's no one tells Scaramucci no. The mooch doesn't get told no on a regular basis. Neither does Trump, and that's part of the problem. So we had a White House. What was he? Communications manager who didn't take orders, and we got a president that doesn't take orders. We can't have 2 of those people in the same space, man. That's going to be. I mean, it's bad enough as it is, but that's just unbearable, brother.
They will butt heads, man. And you know what? I mean, Scaramucci's life has gotten so screwed up since he got involved with Trump. You'd think he was a university or something. But he is a rich man, so he will be totally fine. And, yeah, and why do we appoint rich? I mean, it's just, why did enough people in this country think that a billionaire who's had everything handed to him would somehow be an outsider? The whole idea of a Republican populist is an oxymoron. That can't even exist. That's like saying, you know what kind of platform I think will fix this country? 3-headed unicorn-ness. That's going to fix our country. It's the same thing. It doesn't exist. It's not real. There's no such thing as that. But Trump sold that snake oil, and enough people bought it. And part of the reason they bought it, or a large part of the reason they bought it, is because of the emptiness of the Democratic establishment. I have a cousin, love him to death. But, politically, we really don't see eye to eye. And he was having a conversation with my dad that my dad told me about recently. And he told my dad that he supports Trump. He voted for Trump. My dad asked him why. He didn't say anything about what he liked about Trump in his answer. He said, I just have no use for the Democrats. And, my cousin is a guy that's been screwed over by 30 years of neoliberal bullshit. And the Democrats have really let him down. And he's not alone. And he's not wrong for feeling that way. So, yeah, this snake oil salesman was able to sell his snake oil because no oil was offered by the opposition. And that's part of the reason we have Trump. That's the main reason we have Trump. So, a buddy of mine that's kind of more an apologist for the establishment, that's still a progressive, but, we're on opposite sides of the fence on certain things contemporarily. He said to me, like, you just got to recognize, Ron, that we have a shitstorm that is Trump, and we got to clean up this shitstorm. And I was like, I do recognize we have that shitstorm. However, cleaning up that shitstorm isn't going to mean much if we try to ignore the fact that the toilet got clogged in 1980.
Oh, shit.
I was proud of that.
I love that, man. And it's absolutely true. And I think your cousin is a kindred spirit because I feel exactly the same way he does. I just didn't vote for her or him. I voted for Jill Stein because that's the direction I like. Look, I got to go Jill. And I got a lot of heat for that. But I'm like, dude, I'm not responsible for the Democrats' bad choices. I'm not responsible for their horrible candidates. I'm not responsible for their lack of legislation to help minorities, to help disenfranchised people all across this country, poor people all across this country. That's not my bad. And the fact that you want to blame me or blame people that look like me or blame people who didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, which is a lot of people, you want to blame us for the fact you ran that woman? Well, that's on you. We gave you a guy that could have beat Trump. We said, here goes the guy Steph Curry is a great shooter. They won a championship. They're sitting high. Look, if you got Steph Curry and you say, nah, I'm good, give me Moses Malone. It's like, Moses Malone is retired. He can't shoot anymore. Hey, give me Moses Malone anyway. Well, that's on you. If I give you the guy, the best three-point shooter in the league, and you decide you don't want him, you want to take a guy that's retired who can't play anymore and do it your way, well, hell, when you lose, it's on you. It's not on me. And that's what's been happening. And, dude, it's been happening ever since the election, ever since Trump won. It's been total pointing fingers. And, oh, shit, Ron, what do you think about Russia?
No. Oh, geez. Wow. Well, first of all, I want to respond to some of the other stuff too. Okay. I think that the other sports analogy I love to make is it's like what the Democrats are doing. It's like a team is going 0-16 in the NFL year after year, and instead of switching up the coaching staff, you blame the fans. That's it's like the same thing. It's like saying, look, we got, that's why I really, and I do support an all of the above approach. I love Nick and Draft Bernie. I love what they're all about. But I also think the Justice Democrats you have to try it all. So you got to try to hijack the party from within and get some actual progressives primarying out these corporate dinos. And you also have to explore the idea of, because I think in the long run, our two-party system is completely dead. And so, we have to look into a viable third party. And it's going to be a long haul. Because there's a lot of policy that has to fall into place for that to really be viable. We got to get money out of politics. There's a lot of work to be done. But we gotta start somewhere, man. And if Trump isn't your point of crisis, what the fuck is? Because I've read Anatomy of a Revolution. Real change happens when a status quo is broken to the point where it's a crisis and you have to take a sharp turn. If Trump isn't seen as a crisis, we're going to get more Trumps. If we continue the status quo, everyone's saying baby steps. We got to stick with the plan. No, we're going to get more Trumps that way. And if you think I'm crazy, Kid Rock is running for fucking office. I'm not like this isn't me being a pie in the sky. This is fucking real. Like, if this isn't your crisis, do you need another one? You need another reality TV star? You need 8 years from now, you want to be like, we don't know what's going to go down with healthcare, but we have faith in Guy Fieri. Do you want that to be your fucking reality? Then continue the status quo. Otherwise, let's try to make a sharp turn. Well, history, that's not how – yes, it is. That is how America works, because, the last time we looked like this politically, with the exception of the Bush years, was 1928, the Great Depression. You know what happened right after that? FDR. So we need a new Green Deal. We need another FDR. History is on our side. The way change works is on our side. And guess what else is on our side? The people. We represent the status quo. 80% of Democrats, one single payer. 60% of all adults, one single payer. People want to end the wars. They want to invest the money back home. They support the fight for 15. They want affordable educational opportunities. And yes, we can do that because so many other parts of the industrialized world do. And you know what? Is a Russia investigation fine? Absolutely. If this president is guilty of something, the American public has the right to know that. However, in the meantime, let's not over-report it to the point of hysteria, which is what the corporate media has been doing, very irresponsibly so. And let's not start World War III because of it either. Let's not do that either. And if going to war with Russia is a progressive idea all of a sudden, count me out. I despise Trump just as much as the next person. But scapegoating some foreign entity where we don't have any actual proof of collusion yet, is there a chance they messed with the DNC emails and stuff like that? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a chance that went down. I'm waiting for hard evidence on all counts. And in the meantime, let's not talk about it 24/7 because they are literally beating the drums for a world war. And that is insane. Even if they find out that everything is even if they do find out, let's just say for hypothetical sake, they find out that Trump colluded, that it's all true, that Putin and Trump colluded, even if they find out that Russia hacked into voting machines, let's say hypothetically, they find out that happened, then I am still against going to war. I am still 110% against going to war with Russia. I am in favor of putting Donald Trump on trial. That's what I'm in favor of if they find that out. So, no matter how all this unfolds, I will have nothing to retract. So I'm saying I'm waiting for evidence like a normal human being does. I'm a little skeptical. You know why? Because I remember when they were sure we had weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. I remember when they were positive on that one. Turned out to be false. So I'm a little skeptical of going to war because I remember when that sure thing on weapons of mass destruction in Iraq sent a bunch of my college buddies over to a war that should have never happened, and I wondered if they were ever going to come home. And I have a cousin that'll suffer from PTSD for the rest of his life, lost his engagement over it. So yeah, I'm proceeding with caution once again.
Damn it, Ron. Sounds like you're not, I don't know, like you don't want a job at Fox News or something, man. We had a desk all picked out for you, and there you go. Oh, well, shit, I should say sounds like you don't want a job at MSNBC because you're not buying into the whole Brian Williams. Oh, the bombs were beautiful.
Yeah,
I rained down. It's so majestic. Oh, God. And then he went off into the corner and did some stuff I don't even want to talk about.
Yeah, you know what, man? I'm not going to lie and say that I've never really explored YouPorn. I certainly have. But I'm pretty sure there's no missile subsection. I'm pretty sure Brian Williams has a very bizarre fetish. I think that not even YouPorn covers that. The only person with a weirder fetish than that is Paul Ryan. I'm pretty sure he masturbates to videos of women not being able to afford their birth control. They're completely clothed, Tim. They're totally clothed. They're just crying because they can't afford their birth control. That's what who fucked that guy? Apparently he was talking about that shit in college. That was what he said. He was like, yeah, in college, I'd be around the keg being like, someday we're going to who talked to him? Did he get laid in college? Who did it? Who fucked Paul Ryan in college? Email me and we gotta flesh this out. I mean, why? Hey, what are you into? Well, do you use birth control? Yeah, I'm really into making sure you can't get that or not be able to afford it. That's what I'm into. I think Ron, I'm not going to give you my phone number. Who fucked that guy? Somebody did.
Somebody did. Somebody fucked him. Look, man, I never understood that. That's another thing. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe I come from the wrong side of the tracks, man. But if you're not going to help parents when they bring kids into the world, if they say, hey, I need some help, maybe some diapers, maybe, a couple of dollars to get by, get some formula, you say, no, you moocher. Get out of here, you moocher. Get a job. Well, if that's the way you're going to be, if they say, hey, help me prevent a pregnancy that I may not be able to afford because it's not opportune time for me to do so, and you say, screw that too, like, I don't understand how we can win in this situation. It's like they set up the bars, they set it up so that people can't win, and somehow they pass that off like they're fighting for the people's rights. But if you're pro-life, you should be pro-life for the unborn and the born. And by the way, hey guys, we're here, we're born. We like you to be pro our life as well. So it just doesn't make sense, man. And I've been trying to look at the Republicans and say, you know what? I want to respect that maybe they have some ideological differences, but on certain things, man, it just doesn't make sense, Ron. It's like I got to contort myself into a weird pretzel-like shape, man. That can even look at it and say, okay, and have some type of intellectual honesty and say, yeah, maybe they just see it a different way. But dude, how can you see it a different way when you want to prevent people from preventing themselves from being in situations where they can't afford to live above the poverty line? And then when they need help, you say, fuck them. Like, how does that work? I don't know, Ron. Once again, maybe, because I'm from D.C., I live in Maryland, maybe I'm being exposed. Maybe you have an insight into the psyche of this stupid shit.
No, I can't disagree with you, Tim. I mean, George Carlin said it best. He said, it's not pro-life, it's anti-woman. That's what it is. It's not pro-life. There is nothing quote unquote pro-life about that movement. If you were really pro-life, you would want to create a society where abortion was less necessary. You'd be giving so much money to Planned Parenthood, it'd be unbelievable. You would try to make adoption easier. You would try to lower the costs of it. You would want to have proper prenatal care for all women. That's what you would be if you were pro-life. If you were really pro-life, you'd be like, look, we're not here to shame people that are making the most difficult decision they'll likely ever make in their life. We're here to try to lead them to carrying through with the birth. And, we really want to do that by making these resources available to them, by helping them. Hell, I would donate money to that organization, even if I disagree. I would probably disagree with them in some principles. I believe in a woman's right to choose. But I'd be like, hey, you know what? That's a noble cause. You're helping out a lot of people. You're making a lot of medical services more easily available. I support what you're doing, even though we have some fundamental disagreements. That's a movement. Hell, I would get behind that, even though I had some disagreement. That's not what the pro-life movement is, though. It's the total opposite of that. It's about shaming. It's about defunding services that would make abortion less necessary. And it's all based on this. Mostly it's just based on religious dogma.
I absolutely agree with you, Ron. And the way you just placed that, dude, I don't know, man. I think some of our pro-life people, man, I don't know what they're looking at. I'm not talking about the politicians. I'm talking about regular people. If you're a regular person and you're pro-life, I get that. You may be looking at it from a totally different perspective. You're like, I want to respect children. I want to respect the unborn child that's growing. I want to respect that. I want to make sure that child has an opportunity to live its life. I don't want their life to be taken. I get that. I'm with you on that. I understand where you're coming from. No argument from me there. My thing is the politicians who push that pro-life agenda, they are not trying to take care of the child or provide, what Ron's saying, they're not providing mechanisms to help the mother be able to keep the child.
Right.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't want you to throw your litter away and just throw the plastic in the trash can. We got recycle bins, and we take the recycle bins and we take them and we reformat them, we refabricate them, and we put them back out into the system so we don't create waste. That's a way to make sure that the trash doesn't go into the landfill. But what they're doing now is they're just saying, don't have the kids. Don't have the kids. Yeah. We're not going to help you. Well, don't abort the kids. Keep the kids, but we're not going to help you in a way to preserve the life. So that's the thing, man. So I know I get a lot of mail on it. I get a lot of mail on it, Ron. I don't think that came out really crisp, but what I'm saying, guys, is if you don't want people to have abortions, help them. That's all. Yeah. Don't just say, you can't have that. You're against God. You're a horrible person. You should burn in hell. Well, help. And look, telling people not to have sex is like telling people not to smoke weed. And a lot of people smoke weed. A lot of people
it's like telling people not to eat.
They kind of go together, too.
Well, it's not quite like telling people how to eat. You don't need to have sex to survive, but it is one of the basic needs of human life.
Speak for yourself, Ron.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, bro. I mean, I got 3 kids, man. So, I kind of need to do it. But, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, it's a natural thing, but...
It's a very natural thing. And you know what? When I say I'm pro-choice, and this is something that I would say to a pro-life critic, when I say I'm pro-choice, I mean what I mean. I mean I'm pro-choice. I don't mean I'm pro-abortion. Nobody loves the idea. Well, I mean, I guess maybe some sick people do. But nobody is like, yeah, abortion, that's awesome. Let's have more of it. That's not what pro-choice is. Pro-choice is we live in a society where some people, that's the choice they need to make, and they have the right to do that. However, I'd be on board with any type of movement that favored trying to make people less compelled to make that choice. I'm all about having affordable prenatal care. I'm all about affordable birth control. I'm all about comprehensive sex education. I'm all about, not shaming people that are in that situation. I'm all about making adoption easier. You know how many kids need adopting? And there's a lot of people that would love to do it, but it's so fucking expensive. Why is it so expensive? It's nuts.
It's long, it sucks, it's expensive. Dude, like they should, instead of giving tax breaks to the rich and wealthy, why don't you give them to mothers who decide to keep their children and bring these children into the world? Won't you do that? I'm just saying, guys, give it up for that.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, they should do that. I think that's a great idea. I mean, it's going in a better place, I believe, a place that's needed. If you love life, you want to preserve life, it makes sense to me. But there'll be a pushback. There'll be a reason. There'll be something where you just need to not have sex. Well, that's stupid. I don't agree with that. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Berkeley, Ron. I got Ron here, man, and he's so damn good at what he does, and he's so off the cuff and he's real. Berkeley Hey man, thank you, brother. The Berkeley protests, man, and there's a lot of talk about free speech, man. What do you feel? I'll go first. I'm not baiting you. I believe that a person who has bad ideas, I like to confront them. That's what I do. I'm a talker. I love to confront. I would bring anybody on my show and confront them on their ideology and do my best to say, hey, to show them why it's wrong and to expose to their audience and my audience where there are holes in their ideology and where they need to rethink it. Like, that's the way I feel. So I'm not for, like, censoring people who talk for that reason. Another reason is I talk a lot, and I don't want anybody censoring what I say. So that's why I feel that I understand that you don't like these people's arguments. I understand some of this shit is hate speech. Some of it's just crazy. I get it. I'm with you. I don't like hearing that shit either. But my thing is, if we shut down communication, we shut down free speech, first they come for the Milos and the Spencers, but then they come for Placone and Tim Black and Jimmy Dore and H.A. Goodman and my mother and my sister, they come for us. So that's my stance on it. What's your take on it, Ron? No strings, man. I just want to know what you think.
Well, I think that censoring speech doesn't just apply to the speaker. It applies to the protester as well. I mean, when I was in college, Ann Coulter came to campus and she had her supporters. She also had her protesters. There were protesters outside the campus. There were protesters inside. There were protesters asking questions. That's the First Amendment, man. I am all about that. And as far as, a university goes, it is, I think, the obligation of a university to bring in different sets of ideas from all across the spectrum and the aisles. If you're bringing in somebody that could cause potential harm to other students where some people maybe feel like extremely unsafe, I think that needs to be handled in a case-by-case basis. Whether that case could be made for Milo or not, I think it could be, and maybe that was part of it, maybe it wasn't. But, the students have the right to protest. They have the right to say, hey, my dollars are going towards this programming, and I don't want this hateful bigot. That's not what we stand for here. That's not what we stand for. They have the right to say that. And if they yell loud enough that the event gets canceled, I think that's a democratic action. And I don't have a problem with that. I'd have a bigger problem if a school board was pushing one agenda or another by not considering one speaker or another. I would have a bigger problem with that because it's the students' money that goes, and I played a lot of colleges. I still do play some colleges when I can. It used to be my main source of how I made a living, but now, I'm more of a content guy. But, and there's a lot of different ideas floating around on campuses. This whole idea that kids are not engaged is complete bullshit. I had some amazing questions, especially during the election season. I was on college campuses all the time speaking during the election season because I'm a political act. And I had some amazing questions from kids. I saw, and I feel weird saying kids. I should just say students, but because some of those students were older than me. But I had questions about Bernie, questions about Trump, questions about Jill Stein, even. I will say this as a quick aside. We had Judah Friedlander on the Jimmy Dore show not too long ago. Judah was touring a lot on election season. Hold on.
Let me give it up for Judah. He's been on this show too, man.
Judah's great.
Yeah,
Judah's great.
Judah's my guy, man.
But Judah was doing a lot of colleges during election season, as was I. And his audiences were probably a lot bigger, but that's besides the point. But we were both touring a lot of colleges during election season. And one thing that we had in common, and we both had this, he pointed it out, but then I was like, yeah, I've experienced that too. And Jimmy mentioned it. A lot of students were excited about Bernie. Mostly it was probably about 85%, 90% Bernie. Some excitement about Jill Stein, some excitement about Trump. I did not meet one college student, and he did not either. Neither of us, touring a lot of college campuses during that season, neither of us met one college student that was Hillary. Neither of us, not one. I did not meet, I'm not saying they weren't out there. I did not meet one. And I had a pretty good sample size, I'd like to think. I went to a fair amount of campuses. I was a political event, so it was the kids that were most into politics that showed up to these things. And I knew that because, my Q&A would last for like an hour and a half because they wanted to talk about issues, which was awesome. It was awesome.
Wow.
But I did not meet. So as far as all that, I'm always on the contrarian side of that, and I'm always on the side of the students. I will always be on the student side. When Seinfeld, the whole Seinfeld thing, I got asked about that so many times, and it just got so tired to me. And I was like, look, Jerry Seinfeld's a brilliant comedian. I'm not going to say he isn't, but this whole thing got talked about because of a conversation he had with his niece. He had a conversation with his niece and decided, I guess college kids are just too PC. And it's like, Seinfeld's a billionaire. He doesn't have to play college. You know who's playing colleges now? Me. People like me. So let us worry about the fragilities of college kids. Let me worry about that. And quite frankly, I don't see it. I think college kids, they do have a tendency to kind of like victim-free stuff. Like that's a little bit of a trend there. But honestly, dude, when you're with an audience of people and they trust you and they know your moral compass, and that's whether you're on a college campus or you're in a road room or you're in a comedy club, once they know where you're coming from and your moral compass, you can kind of take them wherever you want. And if you're funny, they're going to laugh. If you're not funny, they ain't going to laugh. And that's how the ball bounces. So, I think that students have the right to protest. Students have the right to let their voices be heard. Students have the right to have a say in where their student activities dollars go. And I'm pretty much always going to be on their side.
Well, damn.
So book me on your campus. No, just kidding.
They need
just kidding, kind of. But if you need to, RonPlacone.com. I'll be there. I'm available.
Hey, but Ron, I'm going to tell you something, man. I've never heard that case articulated. Like, maybe I need to get out of my bubble, man, because I've never heard anyone say, well, you know what, Tim, there were a lot more students who didn't want them to come, obviously, and that's part of the reason why, they were refused access was because the amount of people that didn't want them there was louder than the people that wanted them there. And that's like, oh, well, I get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never considered it that way. I'm still, like, dude, I'm an advocate for free speech. I think we both agree on that. And, and the way you look at it, I guess students have speech too. Like, I guess I got to consider that, so I haven't. I'm going to have to regroup on that and come back and kind of think that piece out, man, because, like, if they don't want them there and there's more of the people that don't want them there, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get into the murky waters of, like, when race was an issue on these campuses and they didn't want certain people on their campuses. But this is different. This is about someone coming to give a speech is being paid and people got to listen to them. Not somebody coming to get an education. So I could hear that in my head, but I'm like, hold up. No, that's not the same thing, Tim. It's not the same thing. We're talking about somebody who's not going to school. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to conflate the two things. I just want my audience to know Ron's kind of produced an argument that at least we could consider when we look at it, because I know I got a lot of free speech advocates. Free speech extends beyond just the person coming to talk. It extends to the students. Damn it, Ron, you're full of information, man, and ideas and shit. Dude. So I don't know, man. Like, is there something going on that you want to talk about? Throw something at me, man, before we talk about where people can go to contact you or whatever.
Let's see here. Well, we covered Scaramucci. Was there anything else on our agenda today?
Nah,
we covered,
man,
we covered a lot of ground here, man.
I'm just grabbing shit out the air. I don't know, man. You just got me just bouncing, man. I will say this, dude. So do you have your own YouTube channel, or what are you doing? I think a lot of people are getting to know you more and more as time has gone on. And, like, are you doing your own thing? What's up?
So I have my own YouTube channel. It's just Ron Placone. I don't use it a ton because the Jimmy Dore Show keeps me pretty busy. So I just mostly I'll post some stand up there. Yeah.
Working for the man, guys.
Yeah. I have
driver Jimmy Dore.
What I do have is I have a new streaming show that I'm doing on an app called LiveMe. It's a pretty new app, and you have to download the app. It's called LiveMe. And I'm in the future, I might extend it to a YouTube streaming show as well. It's called Get Your News On with Ron. And it's literally a show where we go through, like, nothing is pre-planned. I literally find the articles while we're there, and I make it a participatory thing so people can tweet articles at me. And that's starting to happen. Like, people are tweeting me articles that they want me to go through. And then one of the things I do that's fun is, I'll offer commentary, and I'll also, like, sing the articles occasionally. Like I'll make this goofy, like, punk rock riff and, like, sing the article. So it's just a fun way to like get your news. And then I'll like filter stuff, like some of the stuff that I bring to the Jimmy Dore show later, I develop on that streaming show, and I find it on that streaming show, because it's literally just me like, all right, guys, we're going to check out Democracy Now. We're going to check out Truth Out. We're going to go to, let's see what they're doing at MSNBC. And I always get really pissed off because like the corporate media websites, an ad plays at you right away. So, you know, it's fun for them because like immediately I'll be like, all right, MSNBC, son of a bitch, another fucking ad. And it's me in the moment. Like, it's me in the moment getting irritated over these damn ads. You know, they're making these accusations that could start World War III. But for starters, let's hear about this new lotion that someone's selling. And it's just really fucking stupid. And so I talk about that. I express that in a very, very raw sense. So that's on the Live Me app, and you can just follow me there at Ron Placone. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone. And I have a new podcast out called 5 Chords and the Truth that's about music and politics. So we tie some contemporary political issues to music. I'm a big punk rock guy. I'm a big music guy in general. So we kind of tie it all together, and I wanted to do a music and politics thing. So that's what I'm doing with 5 Chords and the Truth. And that was all stemmed from like people at the Jimmy Dore live shows coming up to me after and asking me like what kind of vinyl I collected. And also at one point during one of the live shows, it was at one of our shows at the Hollywood Improv. So it was a smaller venue, and this kid was, he went to the bathroom, and when he came back, Jimmy Dore noticed his shirt on. He had an Iggy Pop shirt on. And when he sat down, Jimmy was like, what is that? What is Iggy Pop? And he gave the kid the microphone, and the kid just goes, ask Ron Placone, he'd know. So when that happened, I was like, okay, there's other big music dorks that are also big politics dorks like me. So I want to try to make something for them. So that's the point with 5 Chords and the Truth. If you're not huge into music, you'll still enjoy the podcast. But yeah, and that's my cat Lucy. She says hello. But
well, damn it, man, Ron, you find yourself a niche there, brother. Like that's what hit me. When you find a niche that works for you and you're happy in it, and it, you know, it's just congruent with who you are, and it's natural. You don't got to fabricate anything, dude. That's like gold, man.
It's fun, man. Well, hey, you got a nice thing going on as well, dude. You got it, and you're holding down the fort in D.C., so that's important.
Yeah, man, it's a cesspool, man. I'm getting swamp creatures creeping in over here, man. It's crazy, like these things.
You are right in the thick of it.
Trump's kicking them out, and they're like crawling through neighborhoods. It's scary, man. But look, Ron, man, look, I'm a big fan of what you do, man. I want you to just
likewise,
keep doing
buddy.
It. Thank you, brother.
I'm a big fan of yours.
I appreciate you, man. Look, guys, Ron Placone, he's on Twitter. He's on Facebook. He's on Instagram. Go check him out. Live Me. Get your news on. Dude, I love that with Ron. Get your news on with Ron. I love that title, man. I had a tagline, news for people who can't stand the news. That was my tagline.
I love it. I like it.
This is very similar, man. I love this shit. Get your news on, man.
Yeah, I have a little theme song that goes with it that I play at the start of every show. Because it's like it's totally live streaming, so you can't really have anything like pre-done. So like I'll play the theme song, and sometimes if people get in there late, they'll be like, "Did we miss the?" I'm like, "Yeah, you missed it," and like I'll play it again on request. Like if you want me to play it again, I will. It's fun, man. It's a cool new app, and I might eventually bring the show to YouTube. If it keeps getting a positive response. So, but right now it's just on Live Me.
Well, damn it, man. Let me know, man. Keep me abreast of what's going on with you so I can help you promote it as well, guys. Thanks, friend buddy. And yours, Ron Placone, great comedian. Go see him on Get Your News On with Ron on Live Me. You can get the app, guys. It's popping. Ron, you've been a great guest, man. Lots of fun. You know what? You can tell a great guest. You can tell a great show because it flies the fuck by, dude. It is 10:13. We went 60 minutes, just bam.
We filled that hour, man. We nailed it. Yeah. We nailed it.
We killed it.
Well, thanks for having me, man.
We killed it just like Trump's been killing Yemenis and Afghanis all across the world, bro. So
yeah, you know what? That is so interesting that the one thing he's done virtually nothing in office, but the one thing he can do is carry on the military-industrial complex. That's like when you're president, I'm pretty sure there's just a button that just says like it just goes on automation. When it comes to just hit that automation and all the drone strikes will go out as planned. That's the country we live in, and it's got to end. The military industrialized complex is so ingrained and so corrupted and so ingrained in the way power works that a president as incompetent as Trump can continue it with no problem whatsoever.
You're right. Us on autopilot. And that's
it's on
some shit.
autopilot.
And you know what? I
Even
know
he can manage.
I'm gonna hear about it from some people, dude. I know Obama ramped it up. I know he didn't stop
He
it.
did.
He continued
He
it and
did.
ramped it up. But I gotta start hitting Trump on it because he's continuing it. So he's gotta stop it as well. So we gotta do that because we gotta be a peace movement, guys. So yeah, we can talk about Obama, and I do. But yeah, I've been here reading some stuff that's horrible. So anyway, I hate to end on that note, but it's kind of bad. Hey Tim, you took us to death, man.
There was so much positivity, and then we just were like, "Wow, wait a second, military-industrial complex still going strong."
Damn it, man. We got
Never forget.
Never. There you go. All right, Ron. One more time, Ron Placone, guys. Go find him everywhere. And I'm your man, Tim Black. See you guys on Thursday. I'll be back here tomorrow doing videos, and we are out of here. All right, Ron.
Tim Black. Tim Black.
And
Tim Black.
ending meeting.
Yes, I am.
End meeting.
True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com.
Thank you to all my Wolfpack people out there for being tuned into this show. Thank you, Ron Placone, for being an excellent guest, guys. Next week, I got Jay Fod from the Lee Camp Show. And, oh, my bad. I jumped the shark, man. Thursday, I got my man, God damn, who the hell is it? Who the hell is it, man? Oh, damn it, man. It's Greg Palast. Greg, bro, it just escaped me for a moment. Guys, Thursday, I got Greg Palast. I just want to make sure I told you because we're going to talk about election fraud, election rigging. We're going to talk about really the way the 2016 election was stolen, not the bullshit you hear on mainstream media. So Greg Palast on Thursday. Next week on Tuesday, I have my man Jay Fod from Lee Camp. And, yeah, thank you once again. Peace.
Tim Black.